I keep hearing heat sent my way about AI art in my Neo TTRPG System games. Now, let me be clear, because I switched this up months ago. I got the criticism. I had a few really legit customers come to me with an honest take on what I was doing and asked if I would make changes. You know what I did? I removed 99.9% of the art from the gaming core material. The core PDFs for the game, I removed the art. The only thing I kept for each was a cover. Something that I hope to replace in the near future, right? And that's all I kept, is the cover. I got rid of 99.9% of all other art pieces in the core PDFs to answer the people's criticism. It'd be nice if people were criticizing you in a legit way and not just out of hate. They'll tell you that they're giving you legit criticism. You'll know it's out of hate. And the easiest way to challenge that is when they criticize you for something. When you do something good, you then turn around and look at them and go, well, here's the good thing. Are you ready to change your stance? Are you ready to say something positive about me or what I've done with the game? Because if you're an honest critic, if the criticism is coming from an honest place, I should hear that. Yet there's so many guys in the old school tabletop role-playing game community that they do not switch up, and they're not even honest about my changes. And there's a reason, because these same guys told me before I put out my game that they were going to make sure it wasn't going anywhere. Like, I was told before I ever put the game up on the market that I was getting bad reviews and was going to be attacked. They never seen the game. They didn't even know I was going to use any AI art at the time. They just promised me when I put out the game, they're going to attack. And when you go to the game pages and see, I'd say 99% of negative comments and reviews, it's exactly the guys that told me what they were going to do, before I ever put the game on the market. I have one guy there who gives some criticism, but he likes what I'm doing, and he makes some positive statements. It's the only fair down the middle, review that I got from somebody who purchased the game. It's a shame because I don't get a bunch of negative reviews from people that are being legit. Like, all my negative reviews are coming from people that promised. I mean, except for that one guy, 100% of the rest are all from people that I was told, if not told me directly, that they were going to do that before they ever seen what the game looked like, before they ever read anything. And that's exactly what I got from them when I put the game out. I mean, I dropped 99.9% of the art to answer to the AI art critic people. So it's like, it isn't, that's a major switch up from where I was. They weren't happy. And guess what? There's other guys out there that have made games with AI art, and when you criticize them, they ain't changing it. They ain't taking the AI art out. So isn't me taking it out and then looking, to replace the covers as soon as possible, isn't that satisfactory? Like, I'm not a rich guy. I came at this from a place where I was okay at one point in life, and I had to end of a 14-year relationship. I had to restart my life. In the process, I got here where I can pay my bills based on the work I do and what I collect outside of the game, and I could afford to take whatever you invest into the game and put it back into the game to make better quality, to improve my own knowledge and everything else. And I've been very honest about how I went at the market from day one, or even before day one. I've been learning about PDF creation, like getting more advanced with it, updating my work, and doing updates sooner than I promised. And I'm actually answering the criticism, like the issue with AI art, and removing it. Like, I'm actually doing that, right? Again, there's guys out there that when you complain to them, they're not getting rid of it. They're fighting with you. I'm getting rid of it, but because there's deceitful people in the old school, I get treated like I still have it in the game. Like I made no changes. And when they're doing criticism on the stream about people that do AI art, they actually think they're aiming the criticism at me. I'm like, but I removed 99.9% because I agree with the criticism about AI art. But I also know the market. right? And it's when it gets to just text games, the purchasing power isn't there to support those people. If they put out a second edition with just text and no images, it's a work of passion because you're making no money because the customer base has cut those people off. At least you're not going to get anywhere. You can get it's a side thing you can do, but if you want to get further into the market, there's no way you can do it. You do it through images. Now, again, there's some of the bigger companies and some of the bigger names using AI art, and guess what? The customers do purchase it. That's what the market shows us, guys. Right? So the only reason I keep any type of covers up is, because it still helps sell the game. It really does. And that's it. And now do I want to replace the cover soon? Right? Get real art just to at least give some real art on the cover? Of course I do. Of course I do. Now, covers cost a lot of money, so I'm putting some money aside, and when I get to where I want to, I'm going to go get them made. Right? Another thing I want to do is find someone to help me with a bit of the PDF creation and some of the work. These are the two goals I have, to bring at least one extra person in to help me with some work, right? Because I work in life on top of doing all this, and it's really hard. And then I want to get real art into what I'm doing. Also, I'm working on a fucking board game on top of doing further updates for the TTRPG. And I did updates on the core PDF, and I've been doing new content endlessly forever. I did a bunch sooner than I needed to, because I needed some time where I'm not bringing out updates for the TTRPGs. I needed time to work on the board games. So I purposely did a bunch of advanced updates to cover me for the next so many months. Like, just you got updates way ahead of schedule. Updates as in, it's like extra content. So it's all this new content that I put out every week. And what I've done is just put a bunch of new content up to cover enough weeks for a few months so I could work on what I'm working on now, which is my board game, right? Which I talk about plenty, and you can check that out in my content. I talk a bit about it in live, and I get some videos up on it, right? But I need some work, I need some help getting that done. But yeah, on the tabletop role-playing games, I am, as soon as possible, going to get some real art for the cover. And I removed all the rest of the art from the core PDFs. I answered to critics. And I've improved on my PDF knowledge, and if the bad reviewers actually looked at what I said and how I'm selling this, and I was honest about my knowledge before I put the game out, I was honest about where everything was. If the negative haters that have 99% of the negative reviews up there were just honest, because I've been honest about my whole process, they would tell you that their criticism isn't exactly fair. It's at least not fair compared to what I said I'm doing, and that I was very honest with the customers. So all the bad reviews, they just ignore a bunch of information that would make the reviews not so bad. Like, you'd have to turn around that and not say that. But if you hate me, then it has nothing to do with you being fair about the game. You're ignoring these details that contradict your bad review. You know they exist, but you ignore them because you hate me. And your aim is to hurt me on the market. It's not about being fair to the game. Now let me ask you, customer, at the end of the day, what's the most important thing that you're purchasing when you purchase a game? I would hope that it is the game and the text and your experience at the table with the game and the text. That the art, the hardcover, the this and that are all just benefits. But in reality, your main purchase, and it's worth it, trust me, is the game and the text. It's the hardest thing for the game designer to make, is the game. That's the thing they invest years into, and everything else. Trust me, if you're buying like my game for like $20 in PDF in the text, you're getting something worth way more than $20 just in the text alone. Now, what I've done is promise to improve the product over time. So at one point it gets to that professional appearance. And at one point I go from just having real art covers to getting some other real art over time I can slide in to the process. Right? But it's like, guys, you can keep criticizing AI art because I know what happens is you ignore what I do and then you lie to yourself. And then you forget, old school guys, that you lied to yourself that I still had the AI art in there. So just remember that you lied to yourself and that's not true. I removed 99.9% of it because I agree with the criticism. That should make everyone who was on me months ago about the AI art thing pretty happy. And to know that I've only kept the covers and then I'm moving in a direction to replace those as soon as I possibly can. To me, every customer that I've talked to in private that aren't leaving up these reviews, people that catch me on Discord, they're happy. They tell me, these aren't lab people that are like YouTubers or go make public comments, and they don't want to get into the fuss of what's going on. That's why they're not public about it. And they're still learning the game. So I knew when I sold the game for honest people, it would take a long time before I hear some real thoughts on it, because they got to learn it, they got to go through the process, get people to learn it with them, play the game, right? But everyone who's talked to me privately that I'm on good terms with, everyone who's purchased the game, told me they were happy about the move, taking out the AI art. Like that was me answering to their criticism. So there's a lot of guys out there trying to take shots at me without saying my name. They think they are. And I guess if they had their audience believing that I'm pushing all this AI art, I guess, mentally, even though it's all based on the lie and not true, I'm getting attacked. But by a group of people that already hate me. The audience hates me in the old school. Their YouTubers hate me, so it really doesn't change the situation in reality. It's just further hate, right? Yeah, so there you go. I got rid of 99.9% of AI art, and I'm not a big fan of AI art, and I've explained to people my situation from day one till now. I've accepted criticism, which people tell me I don't, but I do. I don't accept lies, like an old school tabletop role-playing game YouTuber pretty much promising me that I'm getting a bad review on the game before they see it. And then imagine you get certain guys out there that will purchase your game and then give it to a bunch of people, and then you got to see them bring up reviews for your game, other haters, with the copy. And when I put out an update, those same bad reviewers can't even see the update. They can't even see the update. The reason is they never purchased the game. So one of these old school YouTubers went and purchased the game when I put it out and then gave it away to a bunch of people. That's just how they are. I mean, the sabotage is fucking outrageous. And some of the guys in the old school that did it are, well, they're well liked and well known. And people know they've done it. So it's nothing I'm saying. It's not like a bunch of people don't know. There's a bunch of people that know, but they just turn their heads like, oh. And it's like, well, okay, fair enough. But, I don't forgive, right? So. Look, like I tell people, I really don't bother with too many second chances when it comes to strangers, to be honest. The reason I cut all these people off is because there's millions of people online, there's millions of people in this world, there's millions of people in the tabletop role-playing game hobby online, and if you're a stranger to me and I don't know you and I have not invested in you, it's easy for me to pass you by because there's millions of other people for me to encounter, and they're worth me gambling on instead of a stranger who blows that before I can even get to know them. I mean, if you give me the red flag before I even know who the fuck you are, I'm out. And I don't care about YouTube content or all that type of stuff in the way you guys do. So that type of stuff doesn't attract me. It's like, oh, be good content. You're not talking to me, are you? Well, yes, Steven, even though he lied to, be good content. I don't care about the content part, right? I only care about he lied. So I cut him off. But then you can't do the content together. That's consequences, baby. Yeah, we can't do the content together. But the content is less important to me than my self-respect. Go work in the real world and meet men that have sons and they're raising them into men. Don't lie, don't bullshit. There's all kinds of just fucking decent guys out there that, trust me, the behavior that you see in the old school tabletop role-playing game community online, you don't find that with real men in the real world. Alright. So there you go. There. AI art. I agree with you. Not a big fan. Only reason I touched on it in the first place was because the market says the AI is purchased. And it is. And I got to warn artists and everyone else supporting them. The big companies are moving to AI art because the majority of customers, I know there's some loud voices out there, but here's what really bothers me. I just got to tell these loud voice guys, you don't make up much of the market at all. People are buying AI art like it's candy and they know it's AI art. So let me be fucking real with you. You are a tiny minority. And there's a reason you're a tiny minority, and you'll be squeezed even more going further because groups like WotC just won't give a fuck. And it's going to be acceptable at one point that this doesn't matter so much and you get more of it. Because people are willing to buy it. That's your issue. And you can't stop that train, right? Now, with you, I'm with this on principle with you. I'm not a big fan of the AI art, and I'd rather real art to be the thing going forward. But I can't stop the big companies what they're doing. I'm just telling you what they're going to do. So they're going to bend the market that way no matter what you say. And at one point, this might piss some of you off, but I predict this is going to happen. There's going to be a time when there's going to be new books coming out with real art that are losing to games that are coming out publicly with known AI art. And that means the customer is going to let you know and the real artist know that they're willing to buy en masse AI art over real art. So you can bitch and whine about that fact, but what I just said is a fact. And every market where we see AI this, AI that, customers buy it. And the majority buy it, not just the small majority, the vast majority of people. But that's what the market shows all the time. And that's going to happen here. And most of the guys yelling about AI art are in the old school. And I'm like, you guys are a tiny minority of the hobby. Most of the hobby doesn't give a shit. Like, you see the odd guy. There'll be like 1,000 people that can come by and see your thing. And there'll be like 2 or 3 guys complaining about AI art. That's just to let you know how few fucking voices there are. And their posts are not being liked like 100 times. Right? So it's like they're a very tiny minority that's yelling loud about AI art. Right? Oh, there you go. Now, do I care about what the old school audience or their YouTubers think of anything I do? No. So I don't care about them. But for the rest of you that are out there looking at my game pages and seeing those bad reviews, I just figured you wanted to know the truth. And I wanted to let you know that 99% of those bad reviews come from exact people I could name, but I'm not going to for the sake of avoiding drama. But they left the bad reviews and they warned me they'd do it before it got out there. Now, you'll hear some of their criticisms. It's not perfect. But go listen to my pitch for my Neo TTRPG system. Just go listen to the pitches, all my videos. I have a playlist up. And then go read the reviews and see if the reviews acknowledge what I've said. Because that's really important. That criticism, oh, it could work, but is it as bad as the person says it is? Because they're using it to make a bigger argument that I'm awful. But what I'm saying is, if you look at the facts of the way I really present it, there's nothing awful about what I've done at all. Right? I'm just saying, go look at the reviews and then go look at my approach to this whole thing. The way I came out on the market, and just see if they line up. Or, when you look at the reviews after hearing what I have to say, you judge for yourself if you think that person had bad intent or not. And if their overall review is deceitful. Because the intent behind it, the overall message is not true, and the intent behind it is awful. It's taking facts that, well, it's not like I was dishonest about these facts, but then twisting them into something that they're not. And that's, except for one, that's every bad review, is taking things I was very open and honest with and twisting it. And then, what's even sadder is, the majority of the old school tabletop role-playing game watching audience knew about the deceit with the games, and they helped push that stuff forward. It's even sadder is when, what saddens me with the old school is, it's not just that these guys do what they've done, it's to know that all the other YouTubers and their audience all know that they're doing that. And they either support the lies, or they turn their heads and say nothing. And that's why I tell them. Old school tabletop role-playing game community, I am happy to cut you scumbags off for life. So if you ask me if I'll get over it and talk to you one day, probably not. I don't see that happening. I really don't. You have been some of the most awful human beings I've encountered online outside of fucking criminals. Honest to fuck. And the rest of the hobby thinks that you're insane. Like, the over 90% of the hobby that aren't old school, they all think you're a fucking joke. Because they see it, because you don't hide your fucking behavior. And you don't play fair. And would I be bothered by you or saying what I'm saying if you didn't behave the way you did? No. Anyway, there you go. There's my video for today. I love you. For now, take care.